Every last episode of a series or a cartoon is supposed to be the most important episode of the show. However, the ending might be strange, sad, or even creepy, or just overrated. And in this video, we will see the strangest and saddest cartoon ending. The last episode of Flapjack was hysterical. It was about Flapjack and Knuckles becoming addicted to free candy, and because they ate so much, they turned into mermaids and ended up in the ocean with male mermaids.
Ow.
But things got worse and they turned into fish because they ate more. Later, they discovered the reason for which they turned like that is because of the fish they played with at the beginning of the episode. The episode was neither sad nor strange really, but I personally liked it. The last episode of Gumball was good and satisfying at the same time. It was under the name
The last episode of Kids Next Door was a special episode, 45 minutes long. In the beginning, they talk about the last adventure of the cartoon character. Everything was normal until the end of the episode where number 1 wanted to go with the galactic KND. In the last scene, we discover from number 1 parents that they were as part of Kids Next Door. The traveling to the galaxy scene was sad and dramatic.
I wish we were going with you. Everything's going to be new and exciting for you, and everything here is going to be the same, except you won't be with us.
Abby, number 5, became the new leader and number 1, then they hugged each other and number 1 left to space.
So who's with me? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! Kids Next Door!
The ending was good, yet sad, and as expected. The last episode of Arnold was perfect. It was 44 minutes long and answered the most important question of the cartoon, but not completely. The episode is about Arnold's parents and their last and far journey. At the beginning of the episode, Arnold finds a book that tells his parents' story and what happened to them in the adventure. So simply, when they met and through their journey in the forest looking for a sleeping cure, their relationship develops and they get married in the forest. After a few years, they have Arnold. Through an earthquake and in a good condition, after some time while living in one of the forest villages, they realize how hard it is to raise a kid in such conditions, so they decide to go back to their hometown where the grandparents lived. Later, a guy from the village came to tell them that the disease has once again spread, that they wanted their help, and that they are their last hope, so they leave and never come back. And the cartoon ends, leaving the truth revealed. After 10 years, a movie was produced in 2017 about Arnold's adventure looking for his parents. The movie is about him and his friends in Central America, the last place where his parents were seen, where they tried to escape from the pirates and find the sleeping cure, which surprisingly was a real disease that has affected adults for 10 years, and Arnold's parents as well. Hence the reason they were gone. But in the end, Arnold found the cure and saved his parents, and he finally reunited with them. Helga also confessed her feelings. Gerald also confessed to Phoebe. The ending was good, but was 10 years too late. The last episode of Danny Phantom ended. The cartoon was fine. It was about a falling meteor. Don't understand why these events repeat themselves, especially in the last few episodes of cartoons. Vlad creates a ghost-busting team to destroy Danny's reputation. Danny decides to use the ghost's portal to become normal once again. After becoming normal, Danny and Vlad collaborate to stop the meteor, but Vlad betrays Danny and makes him destroy another planet, then the one he's supposed to destroy to ruin his reputation even more. Then, Vlad exposes his true self and claims that he is the last hope of the world's survival. But sadly, his trial was a failure, so Danny decides to go back to the underworld to get his powers back and ask for the world's help to create a machine that hides the Earth so the meteor passes through without damaging it. He also asks for the help of the ghosts to turn the machine on and save the world. Danny saves the world at last and exposes his powers to his family and gets together with Sam. And the cartoon ends happily.
And I don't care what's coming next. I just hope that whatever it is, you're there to share it with me.
I will be. That's what I'm counting on.
The last episode of Teen Titan was called Things Change, and it was interesting, dramatic, and very sad. To understand the episode, we have to go back to where Tara sacrificed her own life to save the world and was turned into a statue. This girl is Beast Boy's girlfriend, and in the last episode, she came back but had memory loss apparently. Beast Boy tried to communicate with her, but it didn't work. He even tried to refresh her memory, but unfortunately, she just couldn't remember. Beast Boy then tried to get answers from Slide because he was the one responsible for her memory, but they ended up fighting. By the end of the episode, Beast Boy kept trying to bring back her memory, but she told him that things change and that the girl he knew was just a memory.
Tara. Things change, Beast Boy. The girl you want me to be is just a memory.
So the cartoon ends with this not only sad but satisfying ending. The last episode of Chowder was a little bit boring. It was about Chowder and the other characters maturing. Mung and his wife retired, Schnitzel married Mung's enemy, Panini married Chowder, and they had a ton of kids. So the whole episode was about Chowder adapting to maturity and trying to learn cooking so that he becomes the next Mung. You must remember Camp Lazlo, and if you went ahead and watched the cartoon again, the ending is quite choking. The last episode is Lumpus's Last Stand. It's about the principal and the way he invented clothing that shows up when you cover your body with paint because their clothes were dirty. Until someone teleported from the future telling him that he saved the world with this idea, and they made a statue in his honor. But then the police arrived with someone who claims to be the real principal and that the other principal was lying for 5 seasons. The police took him to the mental hospital, and just like that, the cartoon ends.
I'm a genius, you know! I'm a genius!
The episode was really strange. The last episode of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was the best, where Mac's parents decided to move to another city and put Blue under adoption by another family. Throughout the whole episode, Blue was trying to be nice to Mac until the last scene where he got worked up and insulted Mac for leaving him. Then he discovers that Mac is leaving temporarily, but he will come back.
The ending of Kim Possible had 2 episodes under the name of Graduation. It was simply about graduation, where the characters were preparing themselves for their future career and leaving school. Also, the development of Kim and Ron's relationship, and in the first part of Graduation, when Kim was saying her speech, she was kidnapped by aliens who attacked the Earth. Then she collaborates with Dr. Draken to escape and beat the aliens, and together with Ron, they win at last, and Dr. Draken becomes a good guy. They graduate happily. Ron and Kim's relationship develops more than ever. We see through the seasons. The ending was expected and logical for such a cartoon. In the last episode of Phineas and Ferb, you would think that finally Candace exposes them. Their mother knows, or that either Perry catches Dr. Hines at last, or they discover he's a secret agent. But no, nothing of this happens. In the last episode, they just grow older, and Isabella and Phineas become into a relationship. The episode starts with the show producers reading the fans' letters, where a fan wonders whether they'll see Phineas and Ferb as teenagers. Again, the episode was about Phineas and Isabella's relationship. She was leaving for university in another city, and before she leaves, Phineas confesses his feelings to her. Ferb and Vanessa's relationship was also mentioned, and that's it.
I had a big crush on you.
Wow, I had no idea.
Really? I thought I was being so obvious. I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes. Yes, you will.
A special episode was later produced under the name of Last Day of Summer, which was about the characters disappearing in a parallel world while Phineas and Ferb try to save them. Dr. Hines also tries to fix his relationship with his daughter, and in the end, he becomes a good guy. But still, it is not the last episode. Act Your Age is the last episode.
It's hard to predict the ending of CatDog. The last episode of this cartoon was overly dark under the name Meat Dog's Finds, where Dog discovered that the meat he has been eating came from other animals. At night, he had a nightmare about the meat that he had been eating, and he decided that he shouldn't eat anymore because it comes from animals, and animals are his friends. So, the next day, he is vegan. However, he couldn't control himself and started hallucinating about the food that he wanted to eat. So he tried eating rocks, but couldn't. And at some point, he attempted to eat cat. But fortunately, the man who plants meat trees appeared and saved Dog. The last episode was scary, yet sad. It makes you sympathize with Courage. It was simply about the childhood of Courage, where his parents were kidnapped by a crazy scientist and sent to space. Courage tried to save them, but he couldn't, so instead, they just said goodbye. Then, the same crazy scientist tried to send Muriel and Eustace to space, but Courage was able to save them.